Okay, hello everyone. So had a little bit of a snag there, but the video did finally go. So welcome everyone. I'm so glad you're here with me today. I have been looking forward to sharing this card for some time. I really love the way it turned out. It is a shaker card, it's a slimline card, and it's really fun. So let's go ahead and switch our camera and take a look at it. All right, so here is the card that I am talking about, and I just love the way this slimline oven turns into a shaker. You got both your little ovens here that shake, and I'll go ahead and shake it once. And I have filled it with some red sequins to kind of give that warm oven look. And you've got these happy gingerbread boys just popping out of the oven, ready to go. And then down here in the bottom, excuse me, what's normally just a little cabinet, I turned that, I put some creases here so that I can open these doors. And we've got this little guy sleeping on his cookie tray, dreaming of sugar plums. And he's not quite ready yet for Christmas, but he's getting there. He's dreaming about it. So I love the way this card turned out. So let's look at the sets I used to create it. First of all is our Gingerbread Dreams. I believe this one is called. Yes, Gingerbread Dreams. I only used the Tropical Christmas just for my sentiment. I went with Warmest Holiday Wishes since it's a nice warm cozy oven that they're coming out of. I thought that would be fitting. And then this is the really fun Slimline oven die, double oven. So lots of things you can do with this on the website. You can go and click on this and it will show you lots of design team cards using this die in so many different ways. You can cut it and just have one oven. You can use this as the base of the cabinetry or kind of bring it forward to kind of be like a countertop in front of with like a cook back behind. So lots of fun ways to use that. All right, so to get started, here we go. I have gone ahead and I die cut my oven twice out of black. And then I die cut it a third time out of this pretty gray color. So here I have a piece of my gray. And here are my finished cabinet doors. But I want to show you how I made my cabinet doors. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab the die. Because when this cuts out, it cuts them out like this. So you get two completely cut out doors that fit right in here. And it's not meant to have these little sides. So let me show you how I did that. Oops, there we go. So I'm only going to die cut just this bottom portion in my die cut machine. I don't need the whole piece, just this bottom portion. I'll run that through my machine real quick. And then I'm going to use my die just to trace the outline. And you'll see there in just a moment how I do that. So tell me there in the chat, is it cold where you are? I'm here in Texas and it has turned what we call cold. It's in the low 60s. And we're like not quite ready to turn the heater on. So it's like only 65 degrees in my craft room right now. And my hands are like freezing. So if this holds, we're going to have to go ahead and turn the heater on. But we figure it'll get warm again. So we're not quite ready. Okay, so this is basically this section. That's all that I die cut was just the bottom. And now this is the die that normally cuts out the doors. So I'm going to lay that on, and it doesn't really matter if it's face up or face down, just whichever way you want your doors to be. And now I'm just going to trace the top and bottom. Excuse me. Okay, so I've just made myself some pencil lines across there. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut straight across my pencil lines. So now, let me make sure I have it the right way. About like that. I'm going to put my glasses on real quick. Now, I know I want a little bit of black to show. So let me see. Yes, I've got that about right. So I'm just going to trim off a little bit on each side. Now I'm going to get out my scoreboard, and I'm going to go ahead and score on either side of my die. So right here I'm I have to move my die because it's got a little tab there that's so right there, just the tiniest little edge, I made myself a score mark. Now I can just lay my die back on here, slide it down a tad, and make just a little mark here where my doors are to open, like down this part of the die right here. And now I'll just take my scissors and there we go. I'm going to go ahead and fold over these crease marks or score marks that I made. And I'm going to fold them in both directions. And then I'll add my glue just right along and place it right at the edge. Do the same to this one and right there, and it fits perfectly in my little hole. So that is how I made my doors that will open and close. Okay. Nothing super scientific about it, just making that die work for me in the way I want it to be. So now that I have it like that, I'm going to set these aside, and I've gone ahead, like I said, I did it in the same gray. I also cut around this part and mounted on here to give my little ovens kind of some color to it. And then I added the little door handles, and the door handles, all of that is part of your die set. Now, when I die cut this out of gray, I had to cut along here to get that out. It just makes like an embossed area, but I went ahead and cut that embossed area out to add it. But all the rest of it, your buttons and everything, that's all part of your die set. All right, we're going to set these aside, and I'm going to show you what I did to my base layer to give it a nice kitchen floor. Oops. I'm going to lay my paper right here, and I am going to take my ruler and putting it at just a slight angle, I'm going to draw myself a floor. So there's my floorboard. And now I'm going to go and just make about a ½ inch each one. Going down. And down. Well, I might need one more just right here. Okay, now I'm going to turn it. I'm going to start on this corner. And same thing. But I'm leaving my baseboard up there. That's the baseboard of my wall. I wanted my floor to have a fun black and white check to kind of complement my oven. All right, just like that. Now I have some gray markers, C9, 8, and 7. And I'll start with the 9. Whoops, I got it off a little bit there. Let's see, I'm just going to draw myself. Now, a lot of these will be behind the oven, so, you know, that's not going to have to be perfect. But basically, I'm just going to color in every other one until I get a nice checkered floor. I'm going to skip some of those that are in the center because I know they're going to be behind my oven. Well, I better color them in. I don't want to get off and accidentally all right. Now I'm just going to come in with the C7, which is my lightest, and fill those in. And I'm not going to be real exact on this one, but you get the idea of how I did it. And I just blended that out to make that look nice. And I'm just going to do it here on the ones on the side so that you don't have to watch me color this whole thing. The ones that are going to be behind the oven, I will skip for now because they're not going to matter. Okay, I think that ought to get us to our oven. So I am going to trim off the end just a little bit there. But in the end, that's going to give us a nice checkered floor behind our oven. I'll set my oven on there just to make sure I've got them all. But you can see here, there we go. So he's on a nice checkered floor now. All right, and then I also, just this little brown, just to give my baseboard some color. And also I'm coming in with just this lighter color and flicking up from the base and down from the top. Oops. All right, and that is all I'm going to do with my markers. And I know it looks a little rough now, but when we get it all put together, it's going to be great. So the next thing I'm going to do, I've got my base piece here. I'm going to go ahead and put that down. And I'm going to take a little bit of Distress Oxide and squeeze lemonade. I'm just going to fill in my oven here with a little bit of this warm yellow. Put just a little bit more up in this one. All right, that'll give my ovens a nice warm glow. Okay, next thing I want to do, you can see that the oven that I've constructed here, I went ahead and put acetate over these windows, and you can see there I added my acetate and then I surrounded it all with some foam strips. So I am going to go ahead and add my sequins. I'm going to put a nice piece here. And before I go any further, inside my doors, you can see I added some brown. Rather than having him just on black, I wanted him to have kind of a different color in there, so it looked like more the inside of a cabinet. So I've cut myself a little piece of brown that's going to fit right here. So I'm going to go ahead right down here. I'm only going to pull these off. I probably should have done this before I added my sequins, but it won't matter here as long as I'm careful and I don't spill my sequins. I'm going to pull off these right here and add that right down there. So now the inside of my cabinet is going to be the color that I wanted it. And I just realized something. I did this backwards. So let me go ahead and I'm going to glue this guy down. Whoops. Drop my glue on there. All right, we're going to do this the opposite way as usual. So I forgot about that. So we'll get that. I'm just going to pop that right onto our base. All right, and right over here, I'm just going to come over here and clean up the ones that show just a little bit. I had to do this the other day too. There we go. And right over here. Just kind of continue those straight lines. There we go. All right, now I'm going to transfer my sequins onto the base piece. Normally I do it that other way, and I remembered you're not able to see, so you can't do it that way. This way is going to work better. There we go. There you go. All right, so we have our piece in. Now we'll go ahead and remove all of our paper and we'll apply the top piece of our oven. Do say hello there if you're in the chat. I'd love to visit with you while we craft. Let me know, do you have the oven slimline die? My kind of thoughts on this card was that it's kind of like an apartment building for the gingerbread cookies. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but that's kind of what I was thinking, like, you know, this is their home. But I just really like the idea of these happy gingerbread men popping out of the oven ready to go for Christmas. I like to turn things sideways. I feel like I can just see it better all the way around. But now I'm just going to line that up. Excuse my head. Sorry, I got a piece of one of the little papers got in there. All right, so there's the beginnings. I'm going to go ahead and press that all down so my shakers stay on the inside. Looky there. I love it. Okay. So now I'm just going to add my doors. And then we'll decorate with our gingerbread. One fun thing with this oven, if you look at the samples that are there on the website, you can make this oven in so many fun colors. You can really give it a retro kitchen feel. You know, bright red and Christmassy, just so many. So now I'm just adding these doors right here along the edge, and you can see they open up. Pretty much just making sure that my width there is even down the side. And now this one I can just line up with the other one. All right, there we go. Now, oh, whoops, didn't let that one dry long enough. Hold that down just a moment. get a block to set on there while we move on. So here in my little dish, I have all of our pieces that I went ahead and colored up and got ready. We've got our little sleeping gingerbread and our 2 awake and ready to go. I went ahead and stamped out the warmest holiday wishes, and I did use some red glitter embossing powder on that. A couple of the presents here and some of the greenery. This is actually from the Nutcracker set. And then the little mouse and candies. Let me see, what's the name of that set? So here's the Nutcracker set that's got the presents. Yeah, just the present. And then the other one I don't have over here, but we are going to be using it later in the week, so I can show it to you then. But let's go ahead and add our gingerbread boys. And I did add some foam to raise these up. And I'm just going to position them on our oven. So I do have one more shaker card to share with you next week on Thanksgiving. If anybody finds themselves alone on Thanksgiving, if you've already celebrated with your family and you're not doing anything Thanksgiving Day, I will go ahead and have a live on Thanksgiving. It will be pre-recorded, but you can still join me and craft along, or you can catch it in the replays later if you are doing Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving Day. All right, so this little guy, I didn't pop him up, but I'm just going to go ahead and glue him inside the cabinet because he's not quite ready for Christmas yet. And I'm going to put him right in there. Whoops, get him tucked underneath. There we go. And I'm going to add the sugar plums right in there. They're actually peppermints, but go, and this one. All right. All right, well, I thought it looked a little empty down here, so I decided it needed this little present. So I am going to add that, and it's important that you place the present far enough over that it doesn't go over your hinge. If you put your present too far over, it keeps the door from opening. And then I have this cute little mouse, and I'm going to tuck him right in there by that present. Something about the no one was stirring, not even a mouse. That kind of came to mind, even though it's got nothing to do with gingerbread. I wanted this little mouse on here. So I'm going to add some glue here to my sentiment. We'll add that on. And then some of these little greenery pieces, I'm going to attach those to the handles of the oven doors, just to add a little more Christmassy feel. And I just loved how this turned out. Just as if the festive handles there are added. So you can see how quickly this all came together. Really just your die cutting and coloring up your pieces was the main part. And of course, drawing yourself a background is just a fun way. If I didn't really have a pattern paper, that was what I wanted. So I love how that turned out. All right, I'm going to go ahead and switch my camera back. Thank you so much for joining me today for this Slimline shaker card. I really enjoyed making it, and I hope that if you give it a try, that you'll enjoy it too. And definitely your Christmas makes this year with your Whimsy products. Do post a picture there on the Whimsy Facebook family. That's a great place. We love to see what you're making with all these fun products. So I did want to share one more thing with you, and I'll hold it up here. This is the card that I made using the Hurricane Relief digital set that came out, and I'll hold it up here. But you got your little Santa Claus there in his jammies, and he's got a full plate of cookies, and when you open it up, it's instead of got milk, it's got cookies. And our little dinosaur here, or our dragon, has found Santa's cookies and he's eating them up. So on the front it says, "Are you naughty or nice?" And on the inside down here it says, "Looks like somebody made the naughty list." So I thought that was a really fun way to use these fun images. And if you have not taken advantage of that set, it is a limited time only set, but it is still available right now. So you might want to grab that before it's too late, but it's a digital set. So when you print it out, you can size them however you like. So, all right, have a great day, and I look forward to crafting with you again next week. Bye-bye.